What's up guys, Qehzy here, and today I'm bringing you some Serie A kits that I redesigned. I only did 7 teams in Serie A, mainly because I had a few ideas for these teams, and they're the bigger teams in Italy. I guess Fiorentina is a bit of an exception. They're not as big as the others per se. They made it to a European final this season, so I consider them kind of big for that. So sorry if your team's not here. I didn't get to all the Italian teams, but let me know who you would like to see me redesign in the comments down below. All these designs were made in Photoshop using my mockups from TemplateFC.com, so you can check that out if you want to design your own. I have tutorials on that on the Template FC channel and my other YouTube channel if you're interested in learning that process, but let's go ahead and get started. First off, we have Napoli, and I went for a little bit of an ornate look, I would call it. It's pretty simple. It resembles their 80s jersey or some of their older kits that you might have seen the Maradona wear, something like that. I also cleaned up the sponsor by going with white instead of red here because I think it's a cleaner look. But the overall shirt design is pretty simple. The pattern is kind of a flower inspired pattern. Not really a flower, but like a flower petal kind of look. The away is like an abstract geometric shirt design. It has no real inspiration other than the color combination. This shirt brings in some royal blue and the light blue, so we have both of Napoli's blues featured throughout. Mainly it's dominated by white, and it has a little bit of gray in there to add some texture. The third shirt takes the pattern from the home shirt and kind of adds color to it, but you can see this flowery design now is just on the sleeves, and it really pops. It has a really fancy feel to me. And I also included the sleeve pattern design on the badge, which I think would be a unique feature to these kits. My Roma home and away kits are inspired by classic Roman patterning, and actually I think this Roma home kit might be my most liked shirt on Instagram ever. It's a very clean design that I came up with. Like I said, inspired by Roman patterning. I of course modified it pretty heavily. It has a sharp element that's dark and a sharp element that's white, and then they're organized into stripes. That patterning then I used on the collar and sleeve trim, and I really like the color balance of course, Roma's dark red and their yellowish orange. The away features a light fan-shaped background pattern with a more traditional stripe that includes patterning in the orange sections, obviously using the red. This might look a little more Roman than the home shirt because this kind of leaf patterning, you see it in a lot of ancient Roman design. The third shirt is black, and this time it just features a general geometric patterning design. It's not inspired by anything Roman. The orange and red chest section though kind of highlights the overall shirt and brings a focal point to it, and you can see that that color extends down to the badge where the main focus should be, but then that pattern extends throughout the rest of the shirt subtly in the background, and then the colored bits are also on the sleeve trim. For Milan, I was inspired by some Puma patterning. I actually have a pair of Dortmund shorts from this season, and it has this patterning, and I thought it'd be cool to implement that into a jersey design, especially one like Milan that has stripes. The kit is a majority black with the red stripes, obviously featuring these kind of randomized patterns. I think I only went with like 3 or 4 different patterns, and then it's almost symmetrical. It's not quite symmetrical down the middle, which I did intentionally. The away shirt is similar to the Napoli away shirt I did, since they both have this kind of grainy, abstract geometric look, although the Milan one is obviously very different because it has a zigzagging kind of diagonal shape to it. The third is a dark gray and gold with a subtle pattern inspired by the Milan badge, which features some stripes from the badge and then the English cross as well. It also features the Italian flag and of course features some reflective gold, which I think stands out and makes the shirt feel very Italian. For Inter, I was inspired by their snake theme that they sometimes use. A few years ago, they had the snake scale design in their kit, and I kind of went really hard on that theme here. The away features black and blue flowing elements that were also inspired by snake imagery. I don't know if you can really see the exact elements, but they're made up of the diamond-shaped snake scales that I also used in the home shirt, but this time it's kind of a more organic shape to the elements. The third shirt is orange and brings in some black and white elements that were distressed, and then it also features this black stripe across the front. To kind of give the shirt some semblance of structure. When I was designing the Juventus kit then, I was inspired by the leaks I had seen about their kit, kind of bringing in some, I guess, zebra elements, but like a fur kind of thing with their stripes. You can clearly see that on the shirt this season. So I took that as inspiration for mine too, kind of going with a fur-like striping. My design kind of goes a different way with it. Holy crap, there's a spider that just came down right here. Can you guys see this? What are you doing, dude? There's literally a spider right above me, dude. That is... Ooh. Ooh, okay. So I took the kind of same idea that Juventus's kits this season have with that fur, but I went for a more randomized design to it. It's not like a complete structured stripe. So stripes start, and sometimes they go all the way up the shirt, sometimes they go down and fade away, sometimes they go up and fade away. So it's a kind of a mix of chaos, which I really like. Here comes the spider again. What's up, buddy? Dude, you're gonna have to find a new spot. You can't do this. Sorry, dude. The away shirt for Juventus is hot pink. And I went with that color because Juventus obviously have had pink kits in the past. I believe their first ever kit color was pink. So it's something in their history, so I went with that there, and I like the brighter color, so I went with the hot pink. And I included black and white elements throughout that shirt design. Maybe a little too much, should have probably kept a little more pink in it. The third shirt is black, and it brings in mainly royal blue and yellow as the other colors. There's some red and pinks in there as well, but the blue and yellow were taken from some of Juventus's like early 2000s away shirts, and they had the one kit that had the stars on the sleeves. I replicated that here as well. I included the stars on the sleeves, but they're black, so they're like the negative of the sleeve, so they don't stand out as much. Now, Fiorentina, I designed a long time ago because they're one of my favorite Italian teams because I had visited Florence and kind of really liked it there. So I designed these way back before I even had the idea of doing this video, so there's kind of a little bit different thinking going on, but I took inspirations from some of their previous kits. I decided to go with a white stripe across the front, and it's a little bit jagged just to add some interest. I don't like a plain stripe across. I also created a pattern featuring the fleur de lis, I believe that's how you say it, which is featured on all three of these shirts. And I'm just going to call it the Saints logo just because I don't want to say the actual name of it a bunch. So I took that Saints logo element and the stripe element and kind of created a background pattern throughout the rest of the shirt. For the away shirt, I used the Saints logo throughout the chest design element, which is kind of a stripe across the front featuring purple and red. And then the background pattern is basically an abstract pattern that features like a lighter purple and then also some pinstripes too, which I thought was neat. And then for the third shirt, again, we're using the Saints logo here to create a bigger overall pattern that I thought felt more Italian, kind of like a luxurious feel kind of to it. The logos and stuff are a bronze-ish, like a bronze rose gold. I don't know exactly what I would call it, but it also has some reds brought into like the reflections and stuff, which I thought was pretty neat. Finally, we have Lazio, which is the most recent ones that I've designed, and you can see the home kit is inspired by their previous kits that featured the eagle across the front, which is from their old badge. And I just love this shirt design. I actually have this kit from what, 2016, 17, 18, somewhere in there. And I went with the white eagle on the light blue here because I think that color balance is really nice, gives the shirt a real light feeling, but also included the navy trim at the bottom of the eagle. And then the pattern throughout the rest of the shirt is like a chopped up version of that eagle. The whole design has some grainy elements to it, which I think adds a lovely texture to it. In their past, Lazio have had white and blue striped shirts, white and light blue that is. So I took that idea and went for a more abstract striping, which I did this similar thing with a Uruguay kit a while back and I loved it. And this time this is a little more chaotic, which I think fits in with what I was going for. So you can see I created these striping sections that go in different directions. I think it's like 4 different directions. And the main body is like white and like light gray because I obviously want to keep the shirt feeling white. But then the chest and the sleeves brings in the blue. So we have a little bit of color. And then on the trim, on the sleeves and the collar, I also brought in some gold. The third shirt is inspired by the eagle wings on their badge. I actually took a portion of the eagle wings, made like a smaller one and a bigger one, and then an illustrator kind of blended them so they would get progressively bigger. And then I duplicated that, created a pattern that way, and then I created the kind of wavy stylization to it. And those are my Serie A kits, guys. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please leave a like. Be sure to check out my Instagram for more kit designs. Check out my Behance down below as well for more concept kits and things like that. Subscribe to the channel if you enjoy this sort of thing. Leave a comment on what shirts I should design next from any league, anywhere. Just let me know what you guys think. Be sure to check out Template FC. Also follow me on Twitter at Qehzy, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.